Free Brazy.
You know, I'll tell you, like, I won't speak about HoneyKomb directly. I don't know that I really. He was in my courtroom as a spectator, but
Oh, okay, gotcha.
yeah, but when his grandparents, were targeted, um,
That's a big thing, man.
it's a shame that I think we all grew up watching Goodfellas or The Godfather and things, and there used to be rules, and rules were if two men had a beef,
Right.
they settled it, and you leave the families out of it.
Yeah.
And when I look around at some of the things that happened in our city, our country, it's like, man, there's no honor. There's no honor to it.
Yeah.
And in that case, really bugged me specifically. I mean, two elderly people asleep in their home, not doing anything wrong.
Right.
You know,
No, yeah, it's terrible.
it was horrible, and the circumstances of it.
It was Honeycomb's grandparents, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Was it his cousin that had done it? Because he killed his cousin, I think.
I don't remember I thought that one had to do with some folks from Montgomery, if
Oh,
I'm
okay,
not
gotcha.
mistaken. But some people that came down for that purpose of retribution or whatever else. But yeah, man, two older folks asleep in their beds, never did anything
Right.
to anybody involved in this whole deal, and
Yeah.
they're targeted.
Right.
That's really disgusting.
Doesn't sit right.
Yeah.
Well, can we talk about Fred Gang, or thinking that Fred was
Fred,
with the
yeah, I don't
NoCap?
know if Fred was with. That's the NoCap that Fred talked about. But Fred Gang was.
Can we start it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool.
Fred Gang was murder prosecuted, and it started over the silliest like fist fight on Easter Day, like Easter Sunday. Some guy comes over to see his girlfriend. There's some guys in the neighborhood that
Right.
they got into a little squabble, but nothing major. And the next day, it turns into a full on drive by shooting with like I believe she was 5
Oh,
on the
wow.
porch with her parents sitting there with Fred, and Fred caught the rounds and was taken out, and he had a really good group of friends that cared about him a lot, testified in the trial.
Fred was killed then.
Fred was killed. Yeah,
It might have been the same. Right.
Fred was killed. It was over in Birdville. Yeah, just senseless loss of life, man. That's what I hate about it. Is I look around and we're talking about young men,
Right.
And we all know that young men mature a lot later than girls,
Mm.
and science shows that our frontal lobe, which appreciates danger, risk, consequence, helps you calculate those things. It doesn't even develop until you're 25 to 28 as a man.
Really.
So, and when you look at the people shooting each other, committing homicides,
Young guys.
the vast majority of them are below that age.
Right.
And the truth is, a lot of guys end up the road, behind bars for a long time. When they get out, they don't really jump back in.
Yeah.
They tend to leave that life behind. Not all of them, but many. And they're certainly not running and gunning like the young people are these days, and shooting first and asking questions later. So, I miss fist fights. Everybody got to go home from a fist fight.
Right.
And young men are gonna have issues and get mad at each other, and I mean, the majority of the murders I saw as judge were over something as simple as a ounce of weed, a girl, a Facebook post, some diss on a video. It's like something that seems like it's all important in the moment, but if you're lucky enough to live to the age of 80, it will be nothing. It would have been
Right.
nothing.
Right.
Instead, it's ending lives, completely altering the course of lives because people are going off to prison. And man, I hope we can do something on conflict resolution. How do you regulate your emotions? Because that's truly being a man, in my opinion. Learning to regulate your emotions, not to just pop off at every little slight and every little thing. That's what being a man is. It's not being the hardest, you know, or the quickest to pull out a gun and settle things. That's not being a man. So I hope we can teach that lesson.
It's a good answer.